I miss trick-or-treating so much. And I was like, I have to hit these houses, I have to have the best candy because I knew I had like 48 hours to eat it before it was gone.
Okay, so some horror books I always recommend. For starters, I always recommend The Haunted by Daniel Vega. It's the first book that actually made me scream on a busy subway train. Next would be The Year of the Witching by Alexis Henderson, 10 by Gretchen McNeil, There's Someone Inside Your House by Stephanie Perkins, and Home Before Dark by Riley Sagan.
The first one would be It by Stephen King. I don't know about you, but I'm personally really terrified of clowns. I think they're really creepy and scary, so yeah, that book's really great. And the other recommendation would be Coraline by Neil Gaiman. It's a children's book, but I think that teens and adults will enjoy it too. It's about a little girl who loses her parents to a fantastical world, and she travels there to try to bring them back. And in the other world, there are other parents, and they're really creepy creatures with like buttons for eyes and, spider-like limbs and so on.
So I am actually a huge weenie and I do not read a lot of horror. However, some favorites I always keep going back to: Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. You know that like Scholastic book fair staple with the white cover? That one, oof, some of those stories and they still haunt me. Like the Earwax Kid. Ugh. Another one, Legend of Sleepy Hollow, because who does not love a Headless Horseman and Pumpkin Man and like autumn gothic vibes? Yes. And a more recent one is The Dark Descent of Elizabeth Frankenstein. Oof. Frankenstein was not my favorite book we had to read in middle school, but just the way author Kirsten White, she takes this tale and she centers it on Elizabeth, and we get this very complex female narrative while also keeping all of the horror and gore that the original is known for. It's just amazing, even though it scared me and I am way too old to be scared by that kind of thing.
I don't really have a favorite Halloween costume because I never really dressed up for Halloween. I grew up in Singapore, and when I was a kid, we didn't really celebrate Halloween. We had the Hungry Ghost Festival, which is a totally different kind of thing. But one year recently, I really wanted to go as Tom Holland because I saw a paparazzi photo of him with a t-shirt and pajama pants, and the pajama pants were like Hello Kitty pants, and I thought that was hilarious, and I wanted to dress up as him, but I couldn't find the same print. So, now and then I still look out for it, and when I find it, I will be Tom Holland in Hello Kitty pajama pants, and that would be my favorite Halloween costume.
So I am a huge cartoon fan. And so in college, a friend of mine, we dressed up as Dipper and Mabel from Gravity Falls. And I love Gravity Falls. There's actually a Gravity Falls reference in Wraith, the song of Wraith and Ruin. So I was Mabel. I had the wig and everything. I had a sweater, and it was just such a fun costume to wear. And I was just like, I get to be a cartoon character for a day. Yay.
Okay, so I have two favorite Halloween costumes. The first would be, as a little girl, I dressed up as a robot. Literally, my costume was basically a dishwasher box, like an old dishwasher box that was spray painted like a bluish gray. And then like we wrote things on it, and then I was like a robot. But most recently, my favorite costume, I went as a female Joker. I found a purple blazer at a Kmart and my short skirt. And it was so much fun to just run around the city, especially since there were so many Batmans out that year. So I was basically being chased by them, which is kind of fun.
I miss trick-or-treating so much, but y'all, this is gonna sound so tragic. My mom, what she used to do is like after Halloween, if you didn't eat your candy like in the first 2 days, my mom, she would mail it to our cousins in Ghana. So like there was like a small window I could actually eat my trick-or-treating candy. So like I was in there with military precision. I was like, I have to hit these houses, I have to have the best candy because I knew I had like 48 hours to eat it before it was gone.
I used to really rack up as a kid. So in the city, like we trick-or-treat a little differently. Like we either go to like streets and, trick-or-treat at different stores, or we go to apartment buildings. And I used to go to my aunt's apartment building. She had about 60 floors in her apartment building, 12 apartments on each floor. So imagine a kid with like a pillowcase just running around, just racking up all the chocolate. It was so much fun.
No, I don't miss trick-or-treating. I've never really participated in that, but I do keep a bag of candy for Halloween because my building does it for the kids, and the kids will come in their funny costumes trying to be scary, and I'll give them candy.
So my main reading habit that typically horrifies everyone is I still fold pages. I mean, I'm not precious about my pages. I used to love folding, going back to like different scenes that, creep me out, or I just love the actual like language that's in the book. I mean, like, I follow pages in the Bible. I'm not precious about it at all.
When I was a kid, I always had a book with me, even during meal times. So I would eat and read, and the books would have like pasta sauce or ketchup and stuff, food on it. I also perfected the art of reading in the shower. There's a little, put the book on a little ledge, prop it up, and my books would get wet, of course, and the pages would be really wrinkly. I don't do that anymore, but one thing I still do is I dog ear my pages.
So the big one that gets a lot of people, I dog ear pages. Sorry. Like, it's just like, it's so much easier. And like bookmarks, you lose them and like they just can't go anywhere. And it's just like, no. Dog earing is just, it's the best. And I pay for the book so I can do what I want with it. And a writer habit that scares other writers, I write scenes backwards sometimes. And like, I'll write the last line of a scene and then the line before that and then the line before that all the way to the top of the scene. And it's a very weird thing. I would not suggest it, but I do it.
There are two main characters in Jade Fire Gold. One is Anne. She's an orphan and she was adopted by her grandmother when she was a child, so her greatest fear would be losing her grandmother. The other main character is Alton, and he's a prince, an exiled prince, because his family was murdered when he was a child. Sad face. Anyway, Alton's biggest fear in the world would be not living up to what he thinks his family expectations of him would be.
So for both the protagonists of A Song of Rapes and Ruin, Malik and Karina, their worst fear is that every bad thing they believe about themselves is true. For Karina, it's that she's not as good as her mother and her sister, she won't make a good ruler, that everyone likes her less, and that like she was gonna lead her country to ruin. For Malik, it's that he's crazy, that he's a burden on his family, that like the spirits and things he sees like really aren't real and he's just losing his mind. Like just this, their big fear is that the things they've ingrained inside themselves are true and that everyone else can see them. On a less deep internal level, Karina has a deep fear of fire that's actually rooted into a spoiler for the book. I won't say why, but she has a deep fear of fire. And Malik has a fear of dogs. That one is not related to the plot. It's just a weird neurosis of his.
So my main character in White Smoke is named Mari, and her worst fear is bedbugs. She had a really bad infestation in her home that's left her basically scarred, and so she's basically always looking out for black specks everywhere she goes.